And welcome everybody to my chat with Makarov himself, Julian Kostov. Brother, it is a pleasure to have you, man. How are you?
I'm great, dude. Thank you for inviting me. It's such an honor. Yeah, I'm good. I'm super excited. I'm almost finished with the campaign. I'm playing the
Nice.
multiplayer, the zombies. The zombies is so sick, dude. Christ.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
It's addicting.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still like it's all like I like more realistic shooters. Like when it gets to like crazy weapons, I'm like, oh, it takes some time for me to figure out what laser does what. like like straight on shooting zombies in the head was like so fun.
Hey,
But
guys,
zombies are people too.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. Everyone watching, we are raising money today for Game on Cancer, a really great charity. They obviously do a lot of research for cancer, and a friend of mine runs the gaming division over there and the streaming division. Shane, his dad he lost his dad 20 years ago to a brain cancer, and now 20 years later, they've actually made a lot of development with brain cancer, and they've made a lot of sort of in ways with the treatments and the therapy. So they do a lot of research, Game on Cancer. So anything you can give today, please do. And we're going to be Julian's going to be asking questions. Julian, I'm going to call you Julian. Yeah, English.
Julian's easier,
Yeah,
yeah. Or you can call it Julian.
Yuli. Yeah.
Nickname.
Um,
Yeah.
so donate there, and we're going to answer your questions, as many as we can anyway, and we really appreciate it. But mate, how's this been being Makarov in Call of Duty, one of the most iconic villains, taking on this role? How do you feel?
It's such an honor, man, and it was so exciting because I when I got the first audition for this, it was code named something. It was just a monologue, and I was just finishing the campaign of the second game of Modern Warfare 2, and I was like, what is this thing Urzikstan? This sounds familiar. Like in the audition, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Then I saw that Makarov was coming back in the post-credit scene, and I was like, shit, that's what I'm auditioning for. Fuck. Um, and and I was like, all right, cool. So I literally did it from I auditioned from like my cousin's house in London because I was shooting a TV series at the time in London, and so I I did the audition. I sent it on, and never thought about it again. And then 2 weeks later, they were like calling me back, and I sat here in this room on Zoom with like 20 people from Activision and Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward and like
Isn't that
everybody who I
intimidating?
eventually kind of, but I like it when there's pressure because it gets me to raise my game and rise up to the challenge. It's kind of how I'm set up because I'm like, yeah, it's intimidating, but what? I can just fucking die here, or I can do the audition and kill it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
But I
So
think a lot of people
wait,
don't know.
is this a swear-free channel? Can I swear? Because I swear a lot. I'm
Oh,
sorry
of
if
course,
this. If,
man.
all right, cool.
Of course. We are across the world here. I'm in Australia. Julian's in Bulgaria, so there might be a slight delay, guys. Just so you know. Um, so you learned English from Cartoon Network, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. Because back in the day, when I was growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s in Bulgaria, since it was like a communist country up until 89 when I was born, and then after, the transition was very slow. There was like inflation, all the, like every day, like the chewing gum would be 1 lev, and then it would be 10 lev, and then it would be 100 lev the next
Mm.
day, and you were like, what the hell? So it was very kind of poor, and TV was like foreign channels were starting to come in, and Cartoon Network, for some reason, I think we had like all in all like 20 episodes of 5 different shows that would just loop and repeat, and it would not be dubbed in Bulgarian, and there was no subtitles, not that I could read, but it was like 5 or 6, and I was just listening and watching, and I was trying to figure out what means what. So I remember like watching two stupid dogs lick a toilet seat, and I was like toilet seat. What does that mean? And I was asking my dad for different words. So one of the first words that I learned was toilet seat. But yeah, that's how I learned English. And obviously Johnny Bravo, which the hairdo is based on.
What a legend.
Yeah. What a legend. Yeah. And I just love animation in general. Since I watch all the DC animations, all the Spider-Man ones back in the day, the originals, and obviously all the movies now that came out, the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
so I'm just like a regular old nerd when it comes to sci-fi and fantasy and animation, especially.
You consider yourself a nerd? Because I know you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, Matrix, Star Wars.
Yeah. Dude, I was making lightsabers when I was a kid, lightsabers out of like these big wooden sticks, and then I would wrap around like big paper, these long papers for drawing. I would wrap it up because it's very strong material, and I would like make the hilt with like I would wrap it up in what you would call it, tape, black tape.
Yeah.
And then and I would paint it red and green. Like I had a few lightsabers, and friends would come over and we would duel. And I actually have a very funny video, maybe I can pull it up, of me and my sister, who's like 9 years younger, fighting with lightsabers. And I have protective gear on because I wasn't allowed to hit her back. I had to work on my defense game.
So you were red.
Man,
you were a red lightsaber man, did you say?
Yeah, maybe. No, I like blue too.
Okay.
I'm kind of all about the balance of the Force. If I hope I sometimes, like, my dream is to play like a Darth Vader type of character, like from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader, and like that would be, I'm manifesting it to happen.
Like that slow arc of that build of a villain. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, why did he become like that? Normally it happens for love, and when we lose a loved one, and the injustices that go with that. I think this whole arc is very relatable. It's for a reason. It's Joseph Campbell's monomyth. It's like that's the story that we've been taught in every legends, in the thousands of years of history we've told the same story over and over again, and that's why it's so powerful. Take a breath.
And I watched your TED Talk, man. I was just telling you earlier, that was a phenomenal TED Talk, brother. I mean, everyone check it out. Type TED Talk, Julian Kostov. It's how did you come up with that? To speak 20 minutes like that so eloquently with no nerves?
Dude. It's I'll find this later. It's like, it was so stressful because at the time I was going through something and I was self-sabotaging a lot. And of course, I call myself last minute Julian a lot of the time. And I had 2 months to write it. I wrote it. The first draft was 2 weeks before the thing, or 10 days before the event. And I rewrote it 4 days before. And I wrote the last version of it like 2 days before, 1 day before the rehearsal. And I didn't know it. I mean, it's my life, but there's a lot of, like, it's a structured thing. And I was like, I might as well have these cards to help me. And so it should have been, me being tough on myself. It should have been a lot more eloquent. But I think it worked out. I mean, if you enjoyed it and it made the point, then that's what matters. But there are some improvisations in it too, and some jokes. But it kind of felt like a stand-up comedy thing at the same time. Like sometimes, because the crowd was engaging in the jokes, and that was fun.
But that's what you need. You need the comedy aspect to have a bit of levity in a serious speech, Yeah.
Because, dude, you can't, like, we have to take what we're passionate about very seriously. And the work we do as an actor, as a streamer, as a writer, as a whatever it is, you got to take your passion in your work seriously. But then yourself, you got to take it easy. You can't take yourself too seriously, because, I get questions about what does it feel like to be your face to be on Times Square and Leicester Square and the dome, like the Sphere in Las Vegas. And it's fucking awesome. But at the same time, it's a byproduct of the work that I happen to do in this multi-million-dollar, game.
Yeah.
which is awesome. It's we can't, my feet still smell and everything. So.
I
You know what
reckon
I'm
you've got
saying?
immaculate feet, mate. From all that swimming.
Exactly, right. I was going to show you, but I don't have my happy socks.
No, someone will clip that. Do not show. Oh, who we got
No,
here?
we'll end up on Feet Finder. There they are. So this is my Morty. I promise. Oh, geez, Dad. Great interview you're doing, man. Thank you. So, yeah.
Hey, that voice reminds me a little bit of your character in Xenoblade Chronicles. Am I wrong or right? Little bit of touch of it?
Maybe. I don't know if that was not more straight. Like, actually, that was so many years ago, and I haven't really watched that.
I'm stretching your memory.
I'm doing the swoosh. I was like,
yeah.
But definitely one of my favorite, if not, my favorite voice character, because obviously Makarov is performance capture, is not voice acting. But for voice acting, my favorite thing that I've done is by far Lego Ninjago, the movie, the video game to the movie, where I go in the audition and they were like, you have to, because Dave Franco does the character in the movie, and they couldn't afford, I guess, Dave Franco to the video game, so they had to get sound alikes for the video game, and they did that in London. And so I go in and they're like, you have to sound like Dave Franco doing this character. And I was like, okay, give me one line that I can listen to. And it was, Mom, can we talk about Dad? Like, was he always like an evil warlord, or was he like a regular dad? So that was my in for it. But I really enjoyed that. I mean, I love animation, man. And I can't say which one because I'm not announced, but I'm in a big superhero animation series that's coming out at some point soon.
Awesome, man.
Which
Congrats.
is a dream come true. Thank you. And I recorded in Cartoon Network while I was on Call of Duty. So that happened at the same time. And I was like, wow, the place where I learned English, where I cut my teeth is not cut my teeth, but when I learned to speak English, and I'm this studio dude in Los Angeles. And I'm like this, kid from Bulgaria, just living life, exploring. And like, it was so special to go in the studios there.
I'm going to make a prediction. You're the first that will have a Hollywood star. What do you reckon?
First off, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shit's going to happen, man.
In Bulgaria from, maybe it's an expression in English, but from your mouth to God's ears.
It's exactly right. And not only did you learn English in Cartoon Network, you also, how many languages do you bloody speak? I mean,
obviously native Bulgarian. English is pretty much native. And I speak Spanish and Italian, but they're kind of intermediate.
Okay.
Pero sí hablo español y puedo comprender. I speak very decent Spanish. Mi italiano un po' non è come mi spagnolo. Però sì, parlo un pochino, posso capire, posso parlare. Yeah, I love the pasta and the pizza and
but it's hard enough to learn one language, let alone two, let alone four. Where do you get the time?
Yeah. And then the Russian that I actually don't speak.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I actually don't speak Russian, but Russian is a Slavic language like Bulgarian, and the Bulgarian alphabet is used by Russia and by I think Ukraine uses it too, Belarus. Like most of the Slavic, even like Mongolia uses the Slavic alphabet, the Bulgarian alphabet, the Cyrillic alphabet. So that's really cool. So I can read and understand Russian because of that. A lot of it, it's like 40% similar, let's say, to Bulgarian. And while it's similar, some words are exactly the same, but they will have a different accent on a different syllable. Yeah. So you still have to prepare it very meticulously. And I worked with a coach, Elena, and she was helping me with the pronunciation, because I think because I've played Russian before, obviously, but I've played Polish, I've played Moldovan, I've played Spanish, Italian. American, British, everything pretty much. But whenever I do a foreign language, I really want to be able to at least sound very close to being native. And I was with a Russian friend the other day here in Bulgaria, and he was like, "Yeah, you did like he listened to the scene, and he was like, the scene with Nolan when we're going up to the helicopter, and he was like, that was perfect. That was like maybe one sound somewhere was a little off, but it was like nothing. Like to me, you're Russian. I'm like, that's high praise. So yeah, I can mimic Russian. I don't speak it fluently or freely in any way, but I can understand and speak some.
And
but it helps being good at good at languages for sure.
And Nolan, the actor that plays Nolan, is Australian, right?
He's Australian Russian, yeah.
Oh,
He's
Australian Russian. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His parents are Australian. His parents are Russian, and he's Australian.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So that scene was a fantastic scene, man. That was one of my favorite scenes where you storm in and command those fucking troops around. Like, I wouldn't be messing with you, mate.
Yeah, the first, dude. It was fun making it too, because it was one of my first days, and we had some issues with the translation coming from different places. Anyway, like logistical stuff basically. And I essentially got that scene the night before in its full entirety in the way the translation was working. So I struggled so much the next day because the pressure of having to perform in front of other actors, Nikolai Nikolaev and Lev Gorin, and like they're very accomplished actors, and you always want to prove yourself to your peers as much as to obviously your employers and the creators that do this thing with you. And you know how they do the cinematics at Blur, and this was one of the cinematics that they had to get people from Blur over to watch it and like do some special. And Brian Bloom, who's the writer, creator, director, genius, he was like, yeah, the most important thing about this character is he's very confident, so you have to be confident tomorrow, and like it's like a make or break scene, so don't fuck it up.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, oh shit,
wow,
I'll fucking learn. He's like, not to pressure you, but there's a lot of pressure for tomorrow. I'm like, damn it.
Wow.
And so I somehow learned it. There were some changes of the Russian scenes of the Russian lines within the day as well, to make it even more fun.
Harder. Yeah.
But as I told you, I like a challenge, and it really focuses me. And we did it in, I think, 20 takes, which is normally we do 5 or 6 takes tops, 7 takes, 8 takes. This time, and it's the thing about performance capture, it's like a play. You can't cut around between takes. So I really have to do the whole scene with every beat the way we all want it to be, because there's no do-overs. Like we can't take a snippet like in movies from a different take. And so I did it just before lunch, like a take that we were all like happy with, and everybody's like, yeah, it's the characters there, like the performance is there. And then they were like, we're going to continue after lunch with this scene. And I'm like, why? Like, we have it, right? He's like, yes, we do. But this scene has to be 1.5 minutes long. And I'm like, okay. And how long was it? And Brian goes, I'd rather not tell you how long it is. just learn it better. And after we eventually had nailed 58 takes, dude.
What?
I spent the whole 58 takes to get the words in. Dude, wow. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done, but it was so like to then watch it be so powerful.
Yeah.
And suffered for it a lot, but everybody was very supportive. That's what I got to say about these people, man. This is the best artistic collaboration I've ever had in my life. Like, not like forget any movie. Like, I love everything that I've been on, and I love every character, but just something about the game process that's so collaborative, and especially about Dave and Brian and Jeff, that it's just so easy to work with them, and you feel like you're being respected as a human being, as an artist. to me, that means a lot too, coming from Bulgaria and, having prejudice in Europe, I guess, about Eastern Europe, not so much in America, because I think most Americans think when I say I'm from Bulgaria, they think I'm from Bolivia, which is what I've been getting. Oh, so you speak Spanish? I'm like, it's not Bolivia, it's Bulgaria. Oh, Belgium. I'm like, no, it's not Belgium. Even on Fox News, when our president went to see Trump like a few years ago, it said the Prime Minister of Belgium arrives. I'm like, you're the fucking news, dude. This is how much you should trust. By the way.
Far out. Honestly.
But anyway, but it's all fun and games, man. I mean, I don't really get triggered by that stuff, but it's just nice to the way they really, like, I was like their little brother, and they like really helped me out and made me feel at home and made me feel supported and to feel like a powerful actor. And I hope I did them justice and the fans justice with the performance, because OG Makarov is so fucking, it's probably the biggest villain of any game ever. That's the most iconic villain, and that voice performance is so good. And that animation of him, that left him being like so evil looking, is so good. But I hope my version and this game entertain people, hopefully as much, or hopefully close to what the original did, because it's whatever you grow up with, right? There will be no Joker better than Heath Ledger in my so the OGs are the OGs for a reason, you know what I mean? But I hope that people enjoyed my performance too.
Yeah, no, we really did, mate. Guys, just so you know, we won't be discussing any major spoilers towards, the end of the game. Some of you have already obviously finished the game and know about that. So just refrain from those sort of questions. But please keep donating, sending in questions. We will get to them shortly, guys. If you want your question answered, donate through the link in the description. Brad, our mod, he's going to put it in there. Can you tell us a little bit about... before we get back into COD, the swimming side of you could have gone to the Olympics, right?
Yeah. I was part of the national team, the youth national team of Bulgaria for a couple of years. And then I became, when you're over 18, you're a man, you're not a youth anymore. So you have to become part of the men's national team. And I did for like maybe a year, I guess, but I didn't. I was swimming back then at PSV Eindhoven in the Netherlands, which is one of the best swimming clubs in Europe. And my heart wasn't in it. I talk about it in my TED talk, like, just because you're good at something doesn't mean it's the thing it's not your thing. It's not your calling. So I had to find my calling, and I knew it's different than swimming. I knew it's not business management. Although businesses now excite me, I have a few like things going on that but it's movie industry related, like a management firm and
producing,
like casting, producing, directing. My first short film is going to come out soon.
Nice.
Which is like a 30-minute love story about a human trafficker and his victim.
Wow, that's confronting, but it sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that one? How did that come onto your lap?
Well, actually, one of my, let's say, proteges, one of the actors that I've mentored and managed for many years, Kalminov, he wrote the script, short film, and he applied for some funding, and he got some like funding for development or something like that, but like $2,000, like nothing.
Yeah.
Basically. I was like, dude, can I rewrite it with you, and like, let's change it a little bit and let's make it a little longer. And then we found some more money, and I was like, I want to direct it. I want to make my debut. And he was like, it will be an honor and to do that. And then with one of his best friends, Marin Rangelov, fantastic, both of them fantastic actors. He played the lead. He dyed his hair blonde to play this character. It was like a really cool experience and I've been teaching workshops and directing for plays and stuff like that, and so many self-tapes that I was like, it's time to kind of get into that, because just because I have the life experience now to write and direct better than before.
Can you tell the story about Borat 2 and your involvement with that and Maria? For people that don't know, sure. I want you to tell that story.
So basically, being one of the only actors who have ever, attempted a career in Hollywood or in the West, in the early 2010s, I was like, there was no model for that. And I thought if I were to make it, it would be easier if I help other people too. Just
Mm.
just because more of us will break into the industry more easily. And I don't really believe in competition when it comes to auditions and stuff. I'd rather my mate or some other Bulgarian actor get the role than, an English actor doing a fake accent for Chernobyl or something, well, not that they did fake accents there, but it was all British cast. And whenever we get the few opportunities that we have, I want to share them with others, despite it might be at a competition with me. In this case, with Maria, Nancy Bishop, a casting director who I've organized workshops with and I've worked extensively for years with, she calls me whenever she needs to do a sweep in Bulgaria because there's no good infrastructure for that. And she knows I'm the guy and I'm generous enough to share with other people. So she was like, can you do a search for me? And I found like 70 actors for her. And then she like looked through all the auditions and, she found Maria essentially. And so Maria started getting callbacks and I started mentoring and managing her and helping her with the audition process and with all the logistics and going to London and picking her up there because she's never traveled before. Actually, she thought whenever she got the callback going to London, she Zoomed me and she was crying. And I was like, what's wrong? And she goes, please promise me that you're not a human trafficker and you're an actual, casting actor, whatever person. And then when I go to London, you're not going to kidnap me. And she was like, I know you're not going to say that you are, if you are, but please say you're not, just in case. Now I learned recently from her that her mom was taking a video on the side. So if I said I wasn't, then they still at least have my face and everything so they can send to the police if we do kidnap her. But then when she said that to me, I was like, and Bulgaria is in the European Union. It's not like a country that is not doing that well, but it's still in our minds. We're like the only good thing that can happen to us. This can't be there. There isn't a thing that can happen to Eastern European like that in Hollywood that is like
It doesn't
believable
make
to
sense.
us. So
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't make sense to her or to any Bulgarian actor or most Bulgarian actors who would be like, it's more likely that you'll traffic me than me auditioning for a Hollywood movie for the lead role. Because she was like, what's this movie where the lead role speaks in an accent like that? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I have an idea because we didn't know at the time. But I was like, no, it's legit. I know the casting director. She's like a real casting director, one of the best. So I'm like, what are you talking about? But then she said that and I started crying and I was like, that's exactly why I want to do what I do. Like, that's why I want to help other people because I want kids. And now they do because she got, I managed her through the whole process and I set her up with my agent, Tom Jago at Insight in the UK. And then
Did she
once
get an
Borat
Oscar nom?
released, yeah, she got an Oscar nom.
Man, that's crazy.
But
That's awesome.
it's crazy. I'm super proud of everything that she's achieved and like together that, I streamlined pretty much the messaging of the campaign because I'm a Bulgarian actor in the UK who knows all these struggles. And she was a Bulgarian actor in Bulgaria. She doesn't know anything about the industry essentially. So, every part of that messaging and was for the greater good, I guess, for other Eastern Europeans and Bulgarians. So nowadays kids stop us and they're like, I've convinced my parents that I'm going to go to London and study acting because you guys made it. So maybe it's possible for all of us. So it's one of the most cool things about doing this job is that you get to inspire other people to follow their dreams and believe in themselves more.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. I hope you continue doing that and making an impact, which you already have.
Thank you. Well, next stop is we set up a production company with Maria, and we've made two movies already as producers, and we're acting in one of them. It's a very anticipated movie by two Bulgarian directors who are very renowned, and they've won a lot of awards in the European film circuit, the film festival circuit. Kristina Grozova and Petar Volchanov, and this movie is called Triumph, and it's about a true story. It's influenced by true events about the Bulgarian army actually dug up a hole in 1991, right after communism regime fell. They dug a hole in a village based off of a clairvoyant telling them that there's alien life there. So the military trusted a bunch of clairvoyants, and they put millions of dollars in digging this hole because it was going to make Bulgaria great again.
Wow.
So
wow.
And it also, you can see it's going to be fun to watch that movie in relationship to a lot of the messaging in America by a certain candidate. But yeah, it's just funny how life, and there were weird things about that. Like there were some spooky things about that hole anyway. But it's up to interpretation what happened there. So the movie doesn't give you any question. Won't give you any.
What's the genre?
More question.
What's the genre of the film? Is there?
It's in IMDb or in Variety. I think it came out as it's a military satire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. There you go.
Yeah. It's influenced by those events. We're not retelling the actual events.
Oh, well, we're going to check that out. So that comes out next year?
Sorry?
That comes out next year?
Yeah, probably. It's in post-production now. And also, so I was going to tell you that the point of our company, Five Oceans, is to put Bulgaria on the map of all the five oceans, essentially culturally. We want to export our culture and our myths and legends and history and characters and, cool cultural things about Bulgaria that people wouldn't know, or and make Bulgaria great again.
Have you always been?
No.
Have you always been this proud of Bulgaria? This patriotic, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Even though that word lately has become like negative, but I think it's a beautiful thing to be proud of where you're from, your roots, your culture, your history, know about it, know about the downfalls and the mistakes. And I think that's the only way to predict the future is by knowing history. And yeah, we have a somewhat tragic history, especially in the last 600 years. We were under Ottoman oppression, and there was slavery as well. And so like this only like ended 150 years ago. And so we've only had our fourth country, I guess, because we were a country since 681. And that's the first Bulgarian Empire, the first official Bulgarian country. And then, yeah, it's actually the only country in Europe that still has its foundational name. So we were always called Bulgaria since the beginning of the country. Every other country changed its name since.
That's cool. I love how you've got all these random facts. It's great.
I know.
I love
and
this.
Yogurt comes from Bulgaria.
Really? There you go.
Yeah. But the Greeks have better PR, so they kind of labeled it everywhere. You see, Bulgaria needs an image change, and I'm here to help.
So you're the PR for Bulgaria moving forward, right? Yeah. Tourism Bulgaria, they need to hit you up with that paycheck because you're doing some good work for them.
Bulgaria, let me. yeah, they have to. The Ministry of Tourism has to hire me. But yeah, beautiful. You can ski here and you can go to the beach here, depending on the season. So it's good for all kinds of tourism, including cultural tourism. So.
Yeah, love it, man. So going back to COD, this wasn't your first mocap, was it?
Oh, by the way, check this out.
Oh, nice. Perks of the job.
Yeah. I stole it off set. I mean, I didn't steal it. I asked for it. I asked for it and then somebody stole it from within. I was like, did somebody take my thing? And they were like, oh, we're so sorry. We thought... we didn't know it was spoken for, but yeah, it's one of the. I think it's Call of Duty Endowment, and they were like for charity, and this is one of the last ones.
Yeah.
I'm wearing it proudly ever since I had it.
So this wasn't your first mocap, yeah.
I did CrossfireX, which is like kind of like Counter-Strike for the Chinese market, for the Asian market predominantly. But it's like the biggest video game in China. And they made like a second version. And for the first time ever, a single player campaign. But my character was pathetic. So,
What do you mean? What do you mean he was pathetic? What
he's
is?
like a bad guy. The bad guy that doesn't do anything.
Oh,
He's like, they set him up as the big bad guy, and then he just tortures one guy who's like sedated and he's like, dumb. And he's like mad at him, and he kicks him, and he's like, you're unconscious, get up. And I look a little bit at like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that, actually. Like they've done my jawline a little. I look a little like tougher. And then I just walk and talk once or twice, and like my real boss reprimands me a few times, and then I get kidnapped. I get slapped, like knocked out, and then I get kidnapped by the good guys, and then my guys intercept, and then I'm like, ha ha ha, evil laugh, and then my guys like, oh no, you're a disgrace, and they shoot me. And I'm like, that's the first act of it. And I'm like, spoiler alert, I'm not the real bad game. I'm just this pathetic excuse. But that was a cool experience, and the technology wasn't as developed back then. Really cool studio in Finland did the game for
Remedy?
Smilegate. Remedy, yeah, of course. Remedy. I forgot who the publisher was. But yeah, it was Remedy, and they were nice, and they recast the game because the client wanted other actors for some reason at some point. So they recast the entire game except me and this one other actor. So I was working on it for a couple of years, very sparsely. And then all of a sudden they recast. I had to do the same scenes again with other people.
Wow.
But it was different. We would put on a tennis ball, and there would be like 9 cameras in front. So you would do the mocap, and then you would do the performance capture weeks later for the same thing. So it was like very difficult, and you couldn't look away. You could only look in the middle. So you couldn't blink and look away. And you would improve your performance if you wanted to look away like that.
That kind of sounds like a nightmare, man, a little bit. I don't know.
But it was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And yeah, that game was fun to do.
She had fun, yeah.
It came out like 5 years later, dude. It's like they redid it and redid it. By the time they did it, it was cutting edge technology. By the time they did it, it was like old technology, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool people, cool experience.
And then going into this one, going into Makarov, how did you approach this character? Because you're nothing like him. Just speaking to you now for the last hour. You couldn't be more different, which means you're a great actor. But how do you get into him? You know, how did you find him?
Yeah. I think it's there's a very good saying. It doesn't matter how well you know the character, it matters how long you know the character. And there was some time that I spent on it before going out there, between each scene, because you're thinking about what you've already done and how you're going to do the next thing, and there's months sometimes between the scenes that you're doing, and you're learning more and more about the character as you walk through life and kind of trying to see life through his eyes. With every character, you have to find out what drives them and why they are like this, because most bad guys don't think they're bad guys. I don't think they think they're right. They don't care about right, bad, or good. They think they're right. And how does I've played a few Spetsnaz soldiers before, like on Berlin Station, for example. It's a very similar character in terms of backstory. And Sergei Basarov, who I play there, he has this monologue. And I think actually the monologue helped because my agent sent all the materials, all the stuff that I'd done. And there's a little sizzle reel of a few of the things I've done, including some of my monologue for the audition mixed in to kind of prove the concept that I could be this guy. But there's a really cool 5-minute monologue where I deliver it to a CIA guy. And then I cut my artery on my leg and kill myself because I'm not going to be in the hands of the West. Fuck you, basically. You're weak, we're strong. Fuck you.
That's dramatic.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. I recommend people look it up. Berlin Station, Sergei Basarov, interrogation, something. I have it on my channel, I think, on YouTube. And
we'll link it. Yeah, we'll link it for you.
So that thing, that monologue is about how he felt not in control growing up in the 90s in Russia, because I know what it was. I explained to you what it was here. It was the same there, even worse in Russia, because it's colder as well. And a lot of people were dying and they turned on each other, and, you know, kids were killing older people for money, like teenagers, like ganged up. And this happened here too. And so he was less, everywhere he looked, there were helpless people, and he didn't want to feel helpless. And that's why he took the gun and became a sniper. And I think that's at the core of also, you know, what the monologue was for Makarov, is like, he remembers the glory days and he hates what, you know, the country has become since, and wants to, you know, ascend Russia to where he thinks they belong, controlling the world and being the dominant country instead of the US. When you think about it, it's no different to what any American would feel, right? They would want their country to still be the dominant economy, the dominant military, So his intentions to him are pure. He wants the greatest, the good for his people and his country and to flourish. But of course, he's also deeply selfish, and, you know, a lot of these evil acts and ruthlessness can only come if you come from a place of desperation and shame, because the shame of losing is so big, and especially when you're helpless and powerless to do anything about it when you're a kid or a teenager. Or, you know, in his backstory, he's a son of a you know, a person in the Soviet Union who was in the military, and now they've been disgraced, right? And after 89. So, you know, you think about these things and, you know, what relates to your life, whether it's something you were helpless to achieve, or some misfortune that happened to some people or somebody, some group of people or whatever. We have plenty of those nowadays, right? And you kind of internalize all that, and you want to become strong because you want to. But your methods must be different, you know, to everybody else, and you have to be ruthless. And, you know, any sacrifice, you're willing to kill yourself too, but you're just too smart and too important. But you're willing to sacrifice a bunch of your comrades on a plane or in an airport. You know, wink, wink, no Russian, but that is the point. And that one of my favorite lines in the game is, I am not killing them. You are. So he's like,
on the plane.
He believes. He's like, and there was, you know, a few different takes of that where it was like, I'm not killing them. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's you. You're gonna blow up the plane, but it's for the greater good for both our countries. So I love, and evil guys are just so fun to play, and of course, it matters if the character is well developed, three-dimensional, cunning, smart. You know, I think with Makarov in general, and especially our version of Makarov, is that his biggest asset and his biggest weapon and the most dangerous thing about him is his mind. And
he's smart.
How he's gonna turn people on each other, and with these false flag operations. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool that they wrote him like that. And it's you know, if you really listen to the things, you know, for people who are going to rewatch it, there's like things that he's saying that are so scary because they could be done in real life, and you're like, oh wow. If, you know, the disinformation line, also one of my favorite, like a lie flies while the truth only crawls. That's such a real thing right now, because we live in this disinformation world, and I love that it's not, you know, mustache twirly, but it's actually grounded in these real circumstances that we have all around us. And that's the scary part, you know, all the troll farms that we know about, and like that manipulate from votes to like opinions to like mindset to culture and values. I mean, wow, that's so powerful and so scary. There's nothing we can do. It's in the zeitgeist. It just happens through zeros and ones. And you know, with AI and all of that, it's very dangerous.
Dude.
So another thing about him, like you mentioned, the languages, what we really spoke about while developing the character is that we want a bad guy. Yes, he sounds Russian in English, but that's because he chooses to sound Russian in English. And there's the scene in the helicopter, you can rewatch it. He flexes 3 different accents in English on everybody else. So he says Herschel in a Texan accent. He says McTavish in a Scottish accent, and then he turns to Price and goes in British, I promise.
Whose idea was that?
Like, that was my idea, but
wow,
because we can utilize, if you got an actor who couldn't do those accents. But I think, divide et impera, he says in one of the other scenes, which is Latin for divide and conquer. But that line originally was going to be in Russian. But I was like, since it's a Latin expression, can we do it in Latin, which makes both characters smarter because they know a Latin phrase and they don't even, it's like second Latin. So these are smart, very smart people. Like a lot of those people are. But in mainstream Western media and movies, especially, it's only bad guy. I stab you, I take your money. And it's, or if it's a fun character, it'll be played by an American or British actor or Scandinavian. But it's, A, people like me don't get to play those parts. And B, this is so much better written. And I'm like, finally, somebody who's collaborative and like can see the assets that I have as an actor and can be like, let's utilize that. That is actually really good. And that's why hats off to everybody who created this character and for making me feel so invited and collaborated. But yeah, I think it's, Julian speaks Spanish, so Makarov speaks Spanish. So hopefully, maybe he gets involved with the cartel. But that's me.
Don't hype me up, man. Don't hype me up.
That's me as a fan, that I get to speak some Spanish with Spanish-speaking people. And yeah.
Are you familiar with Elaine and Maria? I really hope you get a scene with them down the line, man. They're phenomenal.
That would be awesome. Yeah, they're amazing. I mean, I really enjoyed Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah,
I mean, if we get to do more, but hopefully.
No, that was a brilliant answer. Do you think everything you just said then, are you retrospective, or was that already in your mind before you even played the character? Or have you looked back on it the last few weeks and come up with that answer? Or was that always in you? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's always been in me because it's me. So to vocalize it, perhaps I need the question, but this is the first time I'm asked this question anyway.
Yeah, no, because it was so well thought out what you just said the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Really? I was riffing.
We're riffing. I know, but it just comes comes naturally. But that's what I'm saying. It's in you. It's fascinating. Yeah. Let's get to some of these questions, guys. Sorry, I always do this. I just have fun with a guest, and an hour goes past, and we haven't gotten to any questions. So, wow, Tin has sent through $80. Thank you very much. That's very, very generous. Really enjoyed your take on Makarov. Did you have any influence on the tattoos? And if so, which one was your favorite? Love from Denmark.
I love the Grim Reaper with the skulls, but I also love the one on the right, I think, which was it's a phoenix tearing apart an angel. It's really cool. And he has like a leopard and a scorpion, like a predator on each arm. Thank you about your kind words, by the way, whoever said that. But also, I think my favorite, these are my 2 favorite ones. But I also like the star. Oh, dude, the wolf on the back is also awesome.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Did I have any influence on them? I wouldn't say so. We hired a professional, a team of 2 very cool Russian artists who are studying. They were exclusively professional at studying the history of Russian prison tattoos. And
Talk about a niche.
And they Yeah, right. That's one of their interests. I mean,
Yeah,
they
no,
probably do
no,
more
yeah.
things. What they do, they direct and produce. But uh, but yeah, they draw them and then they print them and then they stick them on me and it takes a couple hours and then I couldn't wear anything on top of them not to rub them off. So I was topless for like all day in this dungeon walking around. But it was worth it. I didn't get sick, so that was good. Um,
How
but it
was
made
that
it so
trailer?
much
How
more.
was shooting that? That must have been fun.
Yeah, that was dope. To I had to go on a diet and work out a lot for like a month and a half because I had let myself go. Because I was like, oh, it's what did I say? Oh yeah, it's all digital. You'll give me muscles, and then they're like, well, actually, the trailer is going to be live action, and I'm like, fuck, how long do I have? So I really got myself together and like put myself together and I went to the gym. But yeah, that was dope. I was sick, like with all the other prisoners beating on the other prisoner, and they just stop when they see me, and we actually have them salute as well, but that didn't make the cut. But because
Oh,
they stand
really?
to attention to me, they just nod as if go on, and they just keep on bashing his head up. But yeah, that was cool. Um, yeah, that trailer was epic, dude.
Did they
Really,
when
really
you
cool.
did the other troop scene where you're commanding the troops, I'm guessing you're talking to no one on set. You're imagining the troops there.
You have like four people.
Okay.
We have a great stunt crew, and they were there to be some of the troops. The person I'm touching is a real person with the
Okay.
life, lies, truth only corporals. I'm touching a real person, but like most of them are obviously imaginary. They were just like, there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be some people there. Like you have to imagine it and kind of do it.
Yeah. Just all the more
Yeah.
fascinating. Luis, greetings from Brazil. Yuli and Dan, your
Hey,
acting and voice are perfect in this game. Me and the boys here have had a lot of fun. Can you please send a hug for our team? Brabos de Verdansk in English is something like Verdansk Bravs. I'm butchering this, but
Bronze.
yeah, I'm
Uh,
completely. You know what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Obrigado. Thank you guys. And a hug. I can use the Morty to send you a hug. So there's that. I'm gonna
Combat.
bring this every interview I ever do now.
Yeah, it's your lucky charm. Yeah. Maybe we can get that as an Easter egg in the next Modern Warfare. Combat.
Instead of the monkey,
Yeah.
it can be the Morty.
Combat here says, such a one-for-one teamer. It killed me to find out who prisoner 627 was. Great work making Makarov who he is in the game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, you are prisoner 627 in the previous games. It was Price. That was a cool little reverse in this game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cool details and Easter eggs. I've done a few videos on some of them. I love the one where in the stadium mission where you can see Makarov if you saw that one, didn't you? That was a really cool little touch.
Until I'm in real time playing it, I was like, oh.
Is that me?
I was like,
Congratulations on raising money for such a great cause. Question, what is your process when you approach any character or role?
Yeah, I read it first, and then I reread it, and then I just start. You would do an audition first and foremost, right? And then you would kind of learn the character a little bit through the audition process, but you don't really put too much thought into it. I've done this a long time, and I try to keep it loose and kind of use myself as the main, as the grounding point, and then go left or right, depending what the character needs and what's happening to them. But then once you get it, you analyze the script. You got to figure out if it's a good writing, and hopefully it always is. You kind of have to figure out, why did they write it? Why did he not say anything here? Because you're reading it think, oh, maybe he should say something here, but why is he not saying? So, oh, maybe he's saving that for something else. So you have to, that's the clues in a script as to how this person thinks, how this character thinks. But character gets revealed through action. So the way when you start doing it, it makes a lot more sense to you than whatever you were thinking in your head. And obviously it's a collaboration with hopefully a good director. Who can say this works, that doesn't work, like on Call of Duty, for example. And
does that sometimes really change what you were thinking to, like, is it a big contrast to what comes out versus what you were thinking?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would normally go with a few ideas for any given thing, and I would be like, and I would actually come with line suggestions. And I think one of my line suggestions for that helicopter scene was,
go on.
From the point of view of Makarov, because Soap says, "You've done the gulag with the rest of Russian rats," and I butchered that accent, but I went to him, ooh, how xenophobic. But that didn't work. So, we had to keep it simple, but they let me fuck around with stuff like that. We tried it in some rehearsals, but some of the lines that I try sometimes make it. And also the ways you're gonna do something. And for example, in that big speech scene, when you're gonna, hit the line and like really scream to everybody and pump them up, like that would change every take until you find the best place. So really, for me, I like to explore it while doing it. And hopefully we have the time for the coverage and for everything if it's on a movie set. But I like to work off my scene partners. I don't really come I come prepared with a few ideas and ways to do it, but I'm also open to some magic happening and them surprising me, or I don't know how they're going to react if I surprise them. And so it's really, you have to keep it alive. And for that reason, it's a very collaborative thing, that the character gets informed by his surrounding and her surrounding, and also by the people in the scene as well, and how they interact with your character. Because, I'm supported by good actors in this, right? Like amazing actors, Nikolai Nikolaev and Lev Gorn, who plays Ivan, and Nikolai, who is Nolan.
Yeah.
And if they don't play like if they don't play it like they're scared of Makarov, he's just like it doesn't work, right? No. People have to, your environment has to react to you the way you're acting it. Otherwise, your performance will go like, even if it's a good performance, it will just drop if the people around you are not good, and vice versa. So I'm very grateful for those guys, and also for, Barry, Neil, and Elliot, and
Samuel,
everybody, and Samuel.
How did you find working with all those guys from 141?
Yeah, I mean, they really were super nice to me and like really welcomed me into it, and because we hate each other in the game, obviously, but we're no different. I mean, they've bonded over the years, obviously, and they've done some really intense camps together, and they're really brothers in arms in the real sense of it. And we're just, we're new and we're coming into it, but they were very gracious as well. No ego, no, like, very easy to work with. Everybody supports each other and complements each other's work when they do a good take, which is pretty much all the time. But that's why I say, man, it's one of the most fantastic artistic processes that I've been participated in. And the other best part about performance capture is that it's a 10 to 6 work day. It's not a 12-hour shoot day with then taking makeup off and going back to your hotel. And it was such a breeze. And yeah, I want to do that all the time now.
And you were impressed by Neil as Soap in this one?
Yeah. I mean, Neil has such an amazing voice. And the accent on it is just super cool. It's like, I can't imitate it. I mean, the Scottish accent's hard to imitate it.
Yeah.
But he had to help me say McTavish properly. So yeah. he's super sweet guy in real life, and you know, they're all like very diligent workers, and they come very prepared, and it's just such a breeze. Like, I almost wish that we could do more takes and more scenes together, because we kind of nailed it almost like a 7 take or 8 take, but I wish we could do 30 just for the fun of playing with them, you know.
We've got the footage up now. A great mission where you're playing as Soap and you have to push you forward. I'm wondering, was that voice work or is that in the?
That is voice work. That's the only bit that's voice work, I think. Except obviously my work in the first mission where you, after you rescue me, that's voice as well. But like this is voice work, yeah.
Because it's a great mission, and there's a little Easter egg where if you go ahead of him, he'll pretty much kill you. You've seen that, the little secret?
When you turn your back on Mac?
Yeah.
Don't turn your back on Mac, guys. Come on. Come on. Stay smart. Come on. What's wrong with you? Hey.
I love that.
But
love that.
Yeah, I love that one. But also that scene, everything is voiceover except the two obviously big cinematics, and it's also performance capture when we go in the between the bus. You remember that?
Yep.
When you go between two, and that's also motion
that was
capture,
creepy,
like
man.
Capture.
Your face was kind of creeping me out in that one. I don't know. The energy was, I was like, what's he got up his every scene? You're thinking, what's he got up his sleeve?
Yeah. Thank you. That's what we were going for.
Funnily enough, we're playing it right now. Yeah, it's just you just look at him. That's your choice.
Well, it's like, he gets captured. He still has a plan B, C, D, G, E, F. He's got plans for the plans of the plans.
No one is innocent. No one is innocent. That line delivery. Love it.
Isn't that true? Yeah.
There's meaning to everything he says.
I love about this game. This campaign is getting really dark. And I love that you even have this mission with Laswell where you actually have to kill an innocent person just to kind of, for the greater good. But it's you, the player, doing it. It's the similar sentiment of no Russian. You're going to do something that I was like, is there no other way to get this key? I tried different ways, and you know what I mean? And then everybody dies, obviously, but they comment on it, oh, it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
It's for the greater good. Ergo, nobody's innocent. No one is innocent.
But I think that went over a lot of people's heads because it's very subtle. You know what I mean? I think that went over people's heads as well.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
She's not in a Coney group. She's with the actual Russian military, where they're not at war. You know what I mean? She just murders a guy.
The only
I like that. I like the grayness of that choice that you have to make.
I think because you're killing.
Because Makarov is driving the good. Makarov is driving the good characters not to be so good anymore, and that's the whole point, I think, of this game.
It's interesting because
pushing.
You are always killing people, though. You know what I mean? Throughout the campaign. So when it's just one more, even though it is Laswell, do you know what I mean? It's interesting. All right, let's check out a few more questions. Caroline, $20. Thank you very, very much. Did you feel much pressure going into this? Great job, Julian.
Thank you, Caroline, was it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Caroline. A little bit of pressure, not too much. We knew that we're undertaking like a hard task to big shoes to fill. And that we were never going to fill them in the same way. So it had to be different. And it is, I didn't try to do anything the same way. But I took some inspiration, obviously, from the vibe of the voice and like and the character before. But I I think the pressure focused me more, and I was like, I need to do a good job for. There's a big fan group and fan base that's very intense in a good way and loyal, and I want to do them justice because that's my job.
And how is it
So yeah, I
playing
guess
through
there
it?
was,
Because you're playing through it right now. How's that, seeing yourself in a game like this?
it's pretty epic, man. I obviously want,
It is. It
not gonna
really
lie,
is. It's fucking epic, man.
it is
Ugh.
it is really cool. And yeah, I'm enjoying every bit of it. I really like, those I like the cinematics. I like to be involved in the story. I recently played the Mortal Kombat campaign, and they've done a lot of cinematics there too, which were pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm not that good. And I play on my PlayStation, and whenever I die, I get super annoyed. But I probably will start doing a stream at some point, maybe tomorrow, the day after. I bought like a little camera, HD camera for my PlayStation, and I'm gonna start streaming either on Twitch or YouTube. So
Nice,
I'm
man.
gonna redo the campaign on a harder veteran level, maybe, so that
Are
people
you
can.
sure about that?
I'm not sure. So I might back out of that, but I'm gonna try it so that people enjoy me failing.
That sounds great,
Anybody's
man.
mad at Makarov, you can watch me fail.
That sounds fantastic. And that's just going to be on your YouTube or Twitch, yeah. Well, we'll make sure to put a link in those, and make sure to follow Julian guys over there. That'll be some great content. Sheena has donated $100. Thank you very
Wow,
much.
thank
That's
you.
very, very generous. We really appreciate that. Hope this donation helps. It really does. Thank you. I have a question. Favorite TV show? Love from Canada.
Love Back to Canada. Your TV show. Damn.
Give us a couple. Give us a couple.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad,
Oh, yep. 10 out of 10. Yep.
Rick and Morty,
Yep.
Shadow and Bone, Wink
Yeah,
Wink.
yeah. There's a good looking guy in that. What's his name again?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
at least one good looking guy in that. Not one, not many. Um, yeah, dude, I watched so many things that I'm a big fan of now. That I mean, recently, what did I enjoy? Dave. Have you watched Dave?
No, what's that?
It's about Lil Dicky, the rapper. And
No,
he
I
made a
haven't.
show where he played himself and how he becomes from Dave to Lil Dicky. And he has a lot of his real crew plays themselves in it. And it's similar to Ted Lasso in the feel good factor of it, but it's so entertaining and such smart writing because he writes it himself.
Oh, I gotta watch
I'm
this.
a big fan of
Yeah.
that. Dude, it's such a fun show. So this is one of the better shows that I've watched in the last years. Game of Thrones, obviously, all that stuff,
Did you watch The
to
Last of
name.
Us?
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't mind that?
I enjoyed it. No,
Uh,
I really enjoyed it.
She also said, what language was the hardest to learn of all the languages that you speak?
I think Spanish because it was really Italian I picked up based off of Spanish, and from then understanding the logic of a language, how from, you can learn languages easily if you can get these logical things about, for example, when a word like university, it ends with ity. In Spanish, it's going to end with dad, universidad. So anything like that would become that. In Italian, it would be ita, università. So all of a sudden, 500 words in any other Roman-based language, so a Latin-based language.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So so Spanish was the hardest because I learned it in high school, but based off of that, I kind of picked up Italian here and there. And whenever I speak, I improvise and I figure out, oh, this must be the word, and I just try it. In Bulgarian, universitet, those kinds of words will end with a T-E-H-T or whatever. But so that's a cool tip I can give you for learning languages.
How do you go with Australian, mate?
Australian's not a good one. It's not a good
Oh,
accent,
that's pretty good.
for me.
That's
No,
pretty
it's
good.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah. That's all. One of my best mates is Aussie.
Oh, cool.
Tim Fellingham. Tim Fellingham is an incredible actor.
Nice.
And one of he's super cool. But
What did
yeah,
you work on with him?
we know each other from acting school, and then Tim and I went to do a little movie in Bulgaria, an action movie that I was like, they cast me in because I'm Bulgarian and they know me, and they were like, we're looking for, it's very low budget. Can you get us like other actors who can speak American? And I was like, yeah. And I suggested a few mates, but they got Tim because he looked the part as well. And we had some fun shooting
Oh,
guns
that's
in
cool.
New Boyana studio.
Yeah.
And the movie is hilarious, by the way. If you want to see something super funny, because it was a movie by the late Danny Lerner, God rest his soul. He directed it, and then shortly he passed away after that. And like I got an email from him, praising the work that we've done on it right before he passed away. So that was super
Oh,
sad.
wow.
But then because of that, it was kind of gifted to him by his brother who owns the studio as a talking about cancer. The man had gum cancer, and the cancer went into remission, and they gave him a little gift to make a little movie, like a couple of $100,000 movie, just to get his mind off things and direct something and work. And it was a pretty good script, like a typical action movie from the 90s or 2000s, but made now. And it was tongue in cheek, and it was supposed to be a young Rambo series at some point. And I was playing Rambo's new best friend kind of thing. I was like number 3 on the call sheet. It was like, but we shot it all in 12 days. But anyway,
12 days. Jeez.
Yeah. But that movie's called Search and Destroy now, I think.
Okay.
And it came out a couple of years ago because they didn't know what to do with it. So now it's become a parody of itself. And I think it's pretty genius and weird and silly because essentially there was scenes that didn't quite work, but then now they've put them, there's this amazing montage, like 3-minute music montage of me and Dylan Bruce, who plays the lead, of us bromancing. And whenever he departs on his own mission, there's like a little montage of all of the times we met each other and in each other's eyes, and there's like little smiles, and it's just hilarious.
Wow.
Like we never intended it. Like the artistic process of the people who did the post-production was brilliant, and they recorded special music for it, and it's just like a funny parody of itself
That's fantastic.
of a movie made in the 90s now. Yeah.
I love that. Amelia, $20. Just want to say, love your work, Julian. That's it.
Thank you, Amelia.
Mona.
Thanks for the donation too.
Mona, if you could give any character trait to Makarov or vice versa, which one would it be? Ooh.
If I could give myself one?
Yeah, or you could give Makarov, I guess, one of your traits. I think that's a question, yeah. If you could switch.
Well, he has a lot of my traits. But if I could get one of his traits, it would be relentless determination.
But I feel like you've already got that, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of chill too, though. So maybe if I had to give one to him, it'll be to be more chill. Take a day off, man. Not that he didn't take 4 years off in prison, but he was never, even in prison, he's still working. He's a workaholic, that guy.
Can you tell me, he came out of prison looking better than I do, or anyone does. He had a suit on. He was looking fly. Was he working the guards over there, I think?
Well, I think from the trailer, you can pick it up. If you rewatch the trailer, like the guards are afraid of him and they have guns, and I don't think it all made the cut, but the way we shot it was they're rock, paper, scissors. Who's going to get me out of the cell? Almost right. Like, no, you do it. Even though that's clearly my decision for them to take me all the way down to get a tattoo. I've made, like, why would they do that, right? Unless the real boss of the prison tells them to, which is me. He was there because he wanted to be there. It would be,
It's
we're
it's
just
kind of
waiting for the
cool.
right time.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. So he's kind of, he can get shoes and he can get a suit and he can get whatever he wants. And you better be nice to him if you're a guard. Especially also prisoner, but that's obvious. But
Does he have a girl? Do you reckon he had any relations with Milena?
with the guards.
No,
Oh, with Elena?
Yeah, with Milena. No, with Milena. Yeah, because she's his financier, whatever you call it. But was there anything there? Was there a bit of love, or what? What do you think?
I think love is a stretch. I think there could have been a thing, but I think a person like that uses sex as a power tool. And I think he doesn't have any room for love other than his cause and the love of the idea of loyalty. So I did think that too, though. But I don't think so. I think they're just mates. And I think people would be scared to get involved with him.
Well, that's what I thought, yeah. But she's pretty kind of badass in her own right. She's kind of holds her own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She is. But then she betrays him, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
Not well, I could already tell you. Let's do a couple more, guys. So if you've got any more questions, send them in now. We're doing our last round. Shane, $50. Thank you so much, mate. Did you have fun doing the multiplayer voice lines?
Yeah, that was really cool, and I hope people enjoy them. I don't know. I haven't read much about people's response to the multiplayer lines, but it was really fun to do. And I put a little bit of me in it, and I did some Russian every now and again, and saying things in a certain way, and just changing it up to how normally an operator sounds. There's a lot more. I think there's a little bit more attitude and menace, and self-satisfaction within the voice. So that was doing the package was cool. It was like some 800 lines or something or more.
It's on YouTube if you want to check it out, by the way, man. Someone uploaded all your voice lines, from Multi.
Right. Check it out.
It's pretty full on though.
I'll link it on TikTok.
It's very full on.
I've been seeing a price smacking Makarov video. Have you seen that?
No, what is it?
It's like a multiplayer thing where Price just smacks the shit out of Makarov with the special. He just goes and kills him on the spot. And I really want to see the reverse of that. All the Makarovians out there who want to defend the pride. Just give me a version of the reverse, please.
There's some some of the voice lines. You went full out, man. You even just saying I need a grenade. Well, what is it? Give me ammo. Even those lines, just full on. Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you had a break during those sessions. That's for sure.
Mandatory breaks by SAG. But I didn't need them because I'm not.
Do you play any other games, Julian, besides Call of Duty and FIFA? You mentioned Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. I just did Mortal Kombat X. I pretty much try to play every Star Wars related thing. So I played the Jedi. Tina Ivlev was actually in that, who plays Milena. She plays the witch in the last Star Wars game.
Jedi Survivor, yeah. She's fantastic.
Survivor,
yeah.
Jedi, the first one called?
Fallen Order.
Jedi Survivor as well?
Fallen Order and then Survivor.
And Survivor, yeah. I'm looking forward to that new Star Wars game that's coming out where you're not a Jedi, but some kind of tinker with a blaster.
Outlaws, that looks sick. Yeah.
Cool. But really, I'm a sucker for a lightsaber and the Force.
They need to cast you in there, man.
Dude, I want to be in it. I want to be in the movie. I want to be in the movie about the origin of the Force. That would be cool.
That sounds cool.
They're making one now. Yeah.
Ooh.
No, they're writing it. Yes.
That reminds me. Tell us
Fantastic.
about Toxic Avenger you're in. Is that coming out? Is that out yet?
That we shot a couple of years ago now. I dyed my hair blonde for it because I'll show you what the character I play in it. But that is out. That was out in festivals only. It's not out yet.
Yeah.
But it played in a few theaters across the world. I think it was in Austin, Texas, and Fantastic Fest where it premiered, and then it was at a bunch of other festivals, and I think the fans really enjoyed it. And it's such a weird, crazy ass movie, rated R.
It looks
blood,
crazy.
guts, brain. I had like maybe 12 scripted lines. I ended up having 50 lines in the movie, just improvisation of like the most foul language coming out of my mouth. And it was so fun to be so free in this Joker-esque. He's like Fred Durst meets the Joker kind of character.
That sounds like fucking fun. Oh,
meets Insane Clown Patsy. So it's the version of the three, and we're called the Nasty Nuts, or the Killer Nuts. I think we eventually became the name. And I'm Bud Berserk. I'm the front man of the band, and I sing 2 songs in the thing. I sing 2 songs in the movie. One is for a music video. One is a live concert, and that was actually gave me the confidence to approach music. And now I have 3 songs that I've made that I'm going to release very soon, that are kind of 90s, 2000s vibe rap, but like very positive. I don't want to be talking about, what rap talks about like trap talks about these days. It's just stupid. But being a character and being so stupid and evil as Bud Berserk is, oh my God, you're gonna love this. Like, I love
can't
this.
wait, man.
This is like, can you show the picture somehow of the?
I will right now.
It's on your. I can show it on the camera.
Yeah, ready? I'm gonna show it now, guys. Yeah.
Reflection.
Yeah, let me get it up. It's brilliant, man. How long did that makeup take?
A couple of hours, I think, every day.
Can you see that, guys? There we go. Yeah, we can see it now. It's hilarious.
He's going like, hi.
Man, you can't tell it's you. It's like a different person. Man.
Yeah. Yes. Really proud of. Same with Mac. Mac kind of has my face, but the brows are a little more evil. I feel like when they did my scan, I must have been frowning, and they thought that's neutral. Even when he smiles in the game, he goes, oh. But that makes him look more evil, so I'm happy with that adjustment.
Hey, man, thank you for taking some time today. We really appreciate it, man.
It's awesome. And thanks, everybody, for the donations. It means a lot. And I know everybody has a story with cancer, and it's just important to do whatever we can. And I appreciate it as well. Thanks for.
And anyone watching this back not live, even if you could just send $1 to the link, if all of you did that, we would raise like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it would be crazy. But even $1 is just going to go a long way. So it takes 30 seconds out of your day. We really appreciate it. Julian, so we can follow you on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. Where aren't you?
Twitch not yet. Soon. Instagram at Julian Kostov, X at Julian Kostov with a Y, Julian Kostov. And I think on TikTok I'm Julian Kostov 89, maybe something like that. But we'll put him in the link, right?
We'll put him in the we got him in the description. And so you might do a stream soon.
Yeah, I might do a stream very soon, like tomorrow or the day after, because I'm away then for a few weeks. So I might put in some hours.
Are you going to get to the end?
Yeah, I'll get to the end.
Yeah,
but I'll probably get to the end of the month. That's how because I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Beautiful, man.
Well, I'll play for a week. Yeah, yeah, and then continue the week after. But yeah, thanks again, Dan, for having me. It's fucking awesome.
Absolute
Interview.
blast, man. And hopefully you're in Modern Warfare 4 and we can do this again. And hopefully you haven't killed everyone in the fucking Task Force 141 by then. We'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to what you do next, man. It was a phenomenal performance. I really enjoyed it. And is there anything you wanted to say to the fans quickly?
Thank you for everybody who's supported the game and the journey and the character, and because of the character myself, and for all of the people that follow me. And I'm gonna hopefully keep entertaining you with BTS photography and videos, because I have quite a few more that I'm pacing out. But yeah, thank you for the love, and I'll see you soon.
And they want you to say, "Remember, no Russian." Everyone's spamming. Is that possible?
I don't know, but remember, no Russian.
Come on, guys. You got to be happy with that. And can Makarov say something to Dan? Last one.
Makarov, something to Dan? Okay.
Yeah. Anything you want.
Dan, you're a good guy. Stay good. I don't know.
The intensity, man.
Stay in kids. Stay in school, kids. Sorry, I all of a sudden wanted to do a little De Niro. I mean, come on.
No.
Dan's my guy. Dan's my guy. I mean, stop it, man.
Yeah, what made you go to De Niro there?
It's the mall. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it.
Okay, yeah. I think you meant to say stay in school, kids.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Stay in kids school? No.
Thank you, man.
But do stay in kid mode. Always be a kid. Remember, life's not too serious.
We're both, I think I can speak on behalf of you. I think we're both still kids at heart, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
All right, guys, say goodbye. Thank you so much again, brother. We will chat soon. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for donating. We really appreciate it, guys.